It's a new day, so guess what? Anthony Allen is back with another piece of knowledge for your editing. My name's Anthony Allen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Anthony Allen Edits, the YouTube channel that is all about teaching you how to edit and other elements of editing so that you can tell the stories that you want to tell in the way that you would like to tell them with full creative control. And here in this video, we're going to be talking about a plugin that is available at johnbillu.com, and the plugin is called Spark. Okay, so the plugin that we're going to look at today is called Spark, and it's available at johnbillu.com. If you want to download it for yourself, this is the page and what it looks like on the download page in the store. If you scroll down, you can see the price, and the price for this is just $5, down from $14.99. So what you would do is basically just add it to your cart, go up to your cart, and then check out to purchase your plugin. Then you install it with the instructions that are given with the download. And this is available for Final Cut Pro 10.4.3 users and above. So if you've updated your Final Cut Pro to 10.43, then you should be good for this download. So we're going to have a look and see what the capabilities are of this, give our judgment. As I've said before in previous videos, a good plugin is something that solves a problem or saves you time. So without further ado, let's get into Final Cut Pro 10 to see exactly what this plugin can do. Okay, so here we are inside of Final Cut Pro 10. Now I'm not going to need my effects panel, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to leave the inspector open, and I'm going to leave our browser window open here. If you're not sure on how to change your workspace within Final Cut Pro 10, then definitely check out a 10-part series that I have here on my channel, Anthony Allen Edits. You should be able to find a 10-part Final Cut Pro 10 beginner's guide on my channel, and it should be within a playlist, and I will basically run through how to use Final Cut Pro 10 from start to finish with the basics. And that is basically where you can find on how to change your workspace to suit a task you're doing or to suit your editing style. So here we are, and you can see that I've already imported a Twitter logo, which is a circle in the timeline, and you can see it within the preview window here. The reason why I've chosen a circle is I can see already, after going through my titles, that Spark is available in a circle image here that I'm previewing on the screen right now. And I want to see that if I can get that Spark around the Twitter logo that I have on screen, because that will really open up a lot for me in terms of, you know, showcasing logos. I want to see if the red line disappears. I want to see if the spark looks great, if I can change the intensity of the spark, and then we're going to have a look to see if we can find spark in different shapes. I mean, the thing that I've noticed already is that when you've downloaded and installed this, the spark sort of integrates itself seamlessly into the titles, and you have to search for the spark, so it's not within a specific folder within the effects panel, which is what my initial thought was. But I'm not going to sort of pass that judgment just yet. There might be a reason for this, like other plugins that I've downloaded. This may be because it's a title panel that you can stretch along a clip. So we're going to see that if this is the case now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this into the timeline, and you can already see that it's given a title panel instead of a clip panel, or an effect that you drag on top. If I try and drag this on top, most likely it's going to try and replace our clip because it's not the same thing, and it's basically like, do you want me to remove this and put this instead? Alright, so here we are. So we have our circle within our Twitter logo here. I want to see if this works. This is probably going to be the only example of using this plugin that we're going to do today. So what we're going to do now is you're going to change the scale. So we have a few different things that we have in our inspector window here, but we also have an on-screen control, and we can stretch this and well, not stretch this, but we can move this around by clicking and holding and moving around this icon of the thing here. So I'm just going to center that, see if I can get the plugin to say yes, that is center. It's vertically center. It's good enough. So at this point, what we're going to do is I'm going to mess around with the scale. So I'm obviously going to make this bigger. There is still a red line there. I thought that was there as a guideline. I'm not 100% sure if that's there for good. And that's something that we're going to have a look at now. Now that's changing the scale of the spark. So that's one thing. I want to change the scale of the circle. So we've got scale 2 here. Not sure what we're scaling here at this point, but let's just, I think that's basically saying scale to the point of the spark. So it's going to finish at the point which we stretch this to. That's the scale of the spark that we're going to get. So at the moment, it's still giving me the spark controls. We have a source here. I'm not sure what the source is for, but I do know that we can change the whites and blacks. So that's one thing. You've got particles, so we can add particles to everything. That basically leaves a trail of particles after the spark, which is good. That's a good thing. It's got gravity and it's got acceleration, so it can slow down. Its lifespan is basically when the spark will go out. Sounds almost poetic, doesn't it? Like when the spark will go out, when the spark will leave. And that is basically what the life is here at this point. We've got white, black, we've got colorize. So obviously with the colorize, you can obviously change the color of the spark, I'm guessing. So let's use the color picker here. Let's select the Twitter spark color. There we go. The blacks. What we want to do there is we want to go onto that blue. For it to stand out, it needs to be a different color to the Twitter, doesn't it? So let's just make this just a little bit brighter. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I like it a lot. So that's good at the moment. At the moment, I still want to change the scale of the path. So here we go. So here's what we were looking for. I didn't see it because my inspector window was too small. So let's try and make that a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on. Right, so the path on and on, this is what we were looking for. So I'm going to get rid of the colors here. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale the path. So I'm going to make the path bigger until, see that it's slightly off there. It is, see when this happens, when you've got snapping, one thing you can do is you can have a look at the axes that's moving. If you can look up to the top right, if you can look at the inspector, you can see the position on the X and the Y axis changing, right? So one thing you can do, if you can't get that with the on-screen controls, you can just move over to the position and you can just use your cursor to move things. And it's still hard to grab it, isn't it? Like it's really irritating. I see what the problem is. It's trying to move like rather than one at a time. It's trying to move the whole entire. Right, here we go. Let's change it to a 1. And in order to get rid of the red line, which is the path, you would just click the path off. Otherwise, that may be displaying on your final image. So now we've got rid of the path just there, and we've messed around with a few different. Obviously, you've got the opacity, just letting you know that you've got the opacity as well, and that changes the opacity of the particles as well as the sparkle itself. See, if I turn that off, the sparkle's still there, but it gets rid of various things. What else have we got? We've got your fade in and out. You've got your grow and shrink. So you can obviously, it grows and shrinks, and that animation will be on or off depending on if you've had this checked or not. With it checked, it's going to be on. With it checked, it's going to be off. And with it unchecked, it's going to be off, obviously. We've got the colorize that we've just done. We've got shrink to, and you've got the percentage of the smallest point it will shrink to once it's finished or its lifespan is done. And you've got a spin, actually, so it spins. And I think we're going to have a look at this now. So let's have a look at how the end product has turned out with this circle here. And also remember that you can actually stretch its span along the logo, but I'm going to use this as an introduction at the moment. So let's press play and see how this sparkle circle works. There's quite a lot you can do there, and as I said earlier on in the video, the sparks are actually hard to find within your titles. It's just a case of having to search through each and every title. And obviously, I have a lot of titles available within my Final Cut Pro 10 downloads and so forth, and it's just a bit of a ball ache to try and find the actual plugin within the titles, as there's not an individual folder where they're all populated, and that is a little bit of an issue for me. It's just I'm having to literally search through. I mean, I know we can try and use, I saw in the description there was a ping. We can have a look at ping now because we'll be able to find that, and I know that's a sparkle. Let's just move it over to the side a little bit and have a look at that. I mean, but it's just a bit of a ball like having to look for where the installed plugin is within the titles. So my opinion, this is a great plugin for playing around and basically giving your things like logos and titles as that extra bit of a zazz if that's your forte. It's definitely something that is catered towards taste as opposed to solving a problem for yourself or saving time. But if you've seen a logo where you'd like a sparkle, this definitely solves the problem of getting that sparkle into your logos or your titles. So that's one thing. It definitely solves a problem, but it's more catered towards taste as opposed to solving everyone's problems. It works great. It definitely works great. It has the parameters it needs for you to explore the capabilities of this plugin. Definitely good download, especially if it's something that you're interested in and it's something that you've been looking for. I mean, that just looks it looks clean, looks really clean. And playing around with things, the only gripe I have of it is obviously when it's in your titles panel, you're having to literally search for the sparkles within your title panel. But other than that, great plugin, solves a problem, definitely saves you time of having to try and keyframe something like this. So now that we've had a look at that plugin, I want to hear your thoughts. And also, John Billu will be looking at the comment section here in this video as well to see your thoughts and opinions that should ultimately help him with his creations when he's creating new plugins. So it's well worth you joining in on the conversation and getting down in the comment section down below so we can talk about plugins and other different forms of editing assets in an open environment, so we can share our opinions and ultimately help everybody by sharing something that will ultimately help the creator and the people, you and me, who are purchasing these plugins. I want you guys to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can keep in touch and not miss a thing that's happening here on this YouTube channel, because I have a lot more coming up for you. It's going to get exciting. There's a lot of things that we'll be talking about and learning along the way. So I'll see you in the next video after you've hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're not already subscribed here on Anthony Allen Edits. See you in the next one.